Hello, and welcome to Tuesday's Top Tip. Today we're talking about you don't need another credit coach or coach for your business. You actually need clients. And I know this may sound controversial, but I want you to stop paying for coaching. Stop buying all the courses. And I'm going to talk to you about why today. Why you should stop buying coaching. Now, I want to be really clear about this because it might sound a little weird because I'm a coach, right? And I've been coaching people for years. I actually invested so much money in coaching that I have a master's degree in professional and executive coaching. So obviously, you probably get the drift that I think coaching can be a very powerful thing to help you grow faster, learn faster, get over the humps faster. But most people are paying thousands upon thousands of dollars on coaching, on mentorships, on webinars, on courses, on certifications, on blah, 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 blah. And you don't even have a client. I don't know how many times I've talked to people. They'll be on my strategy calls, which are absolutely free. You can get on a strategy call with me for free. And they'll come on my strategy call and they'll go, I learned more on this hour call than I did paying $1,000 for a coach. And my question to you guys, if you guys are out there paying for coaches, is did you get a client? Because that's what my principal talk is today with Tuesday Top Tip is why are you paying for coaching if you don't even have a client? And I think if I were going to invest money in coaching today, starting brand new in any industry, my first thing would be, coach, help me get a client. And the reason why that's so important is because when you have a client, you actually learn. And you actually learn what you need to know in order to help serve that client. And so I think sometimes we put the wheel before the cart and we say, okay, or is it the cart before the wheel? How's it go? Whatever way it goes, right? We say, okay, we need to go learn all this stuff and then we're going to get a client. My best way to say this is what Alex Ramosi says. He says, you will suck. And then as you keep doing it and the repetition and the consistency of what you're doing, you're going to suck less and you're going to suck less. And ultimately you arrive to maybe you don't suck anymore. And maybe you're seen as the expert in whatever this thing is that you're trying to create. And so I'm really speaking to those of you out here who are brand new in the industry, or those of you who maybe you're not brand new, maybe you've been doing it for a year, but you feel very stuck. And so every time you see this little thing on Facebook or on socials about some coach saying, oh, I had the magic solution for you, you're like, you want to run and jump and get that solution. And you're trying to come up with the funds to get the $5,000 for the magic solution, for the magic coaching. And it's just not there, guys. It's not there. Now, I hate to tell you this, but I've been a coach for 20 something years now. And I love it. And I think coaching is very valuable. But I also know a lot of the coaches out there in their industry, and they haven't successfully started their own credit repair organization or their own coaching business or their own financial business. But they found a way to make money by coaching you on something they don't even know. Isn't that amazing? But you don't know that because it appears on socials that they're doing something that they're not doing. So I want you to digest that for a second because you don't know. You don't know, right? Unless you really know that person intimately, you don't know. And so I'm going to say this one more time, and I'm going to get into the meat of my conversation today is stop paying for coaching, okay? And those coaches out there who are watching this like, Allie, I hate you right now. Trust me, they need you. They do, but not yet. Right now, if we're just digesting information without getting a client, then we're just digesting information. And it's going to feel productive, but it's not. Productivity doesn't always equal profitability, okay? And why are we learning in the first place? What do we want to know? We want to know because we want to build confidence. We want to know what we're doing before we start doing it for a client, right? We want to get the magic sauce on how to do this the right way. We all want to make sure that we don't look like we don't know what we're doing. We don't want to make mistakes. And we certainly don't want to look and appear inexperienced. But everybody who ever started anything was inexperienced, actually sucked at what they did and learned along the way. The best learning you could possibly have in life is going to be the learning that you get from doing the thing. And this goes for you and your clients. And honesty goes a long way. You can tell your clients, hey, I'm new to this, but I know enough that I can help you, and I want to learn more and get better and better. And I will through helping you. And I will do everything I can to make sure that I help you. That's solid. That's what people can rely on. So let's jump into it. I am going to pull up my PowerPoint slide right now, and we'll jump right into it. So stop consuming and start earning money today. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's so easy. You can do it alongside of me. I'm going to teach you how to do that. But again, what most people are doing is we just continuously just try to consume information. And I know so many of you, I've talked to you. I talked to a bunch of people yesterday on my strategy call, and they were all brand new to the industry. And the one thing that kept coming up was, I need to learn more to get started. No, you don't need to learn more to get started. You don't need another coach. You need clients, and clients are going to be your very best coach. I can promise you that. Here's the funny thing that I think is really interesting for those of you who are like, oh, I want to learn more. This is what you've done so far. Tell me if I'm wrong. You spent thousands and thousands of dollars, or hundreds and hundreds of dollars, whatever that might be, on courses, on software, on masterminds, on certifications, on webinars, on mentorship, whatever that is, but you still don't have your first 10 clients. You still maybe haven't even launched your business. I know, because there was a lot of people on my call yesterday. That's exactly where they were. You still don't feel confident. You still don't have the right positioning for yourselves, right? How are you going to show up in the world? You still don't have these things, but you paid thousands of dollars. So at some point we have to ask ourselves, are we learning to grow? Or are we learning to avoid taking action? Are we fearful? Are we fearful of feeling like we're not adequate enough, that we don't have enough experience? Is that what it is? Are we fearful maybe that we're actually going to be good at it? I had one client, that's what she really was scared. She's like, I know how to do this. I'm really good at student loan resolutions. And she was fearful that she was actually going to be really good at it, and she was not going to be able to service the amount of clients. And I said, hey, go do it, because you can limit how many clients you take per month. And she's like, oh, I didn't think about that. So maybe we're just being fearful of what we don't even know, right? And so I'm going to take you back for a second into my own journey in being a credit professional. So when I first became a credit professional, I was in the lending world. Well, let me even go back further than that. I was actually a teacher, and I got laid off from teaching. And I went to a bar, and I met this guy, and he ran a mortgage company. And we started talking, and my story, and some of you guys have heard this. I didn't even know how to spell the word mortgage back then. I was in my early 20s. I think it was 20. And anyway, long story short, I go to work for his organization, not really knowing what I was doing. Guys, I didn't even know how to spell the word mortgage, but I knew I had to do something. And so sometimes that breakthrough comes when you have to go do something. Some of us, we have a 9-to-5, and so we can rely on that, so we don't ever launch this because we just want to learn more and more. But maybe this is the difference between even having to have your 9-to-5 anymore, right? Maybe this is the legacy. And so I employ you to just jump in and do the thing. Just do the thing. And that's what I did in the mortgage industry. And that's when I learned that people were coming in and getting denied and not knowing why. And the story goes on and on, that I ended up starting a credit coaching business. And I did that for 2 years for free. I learned and I learned and I learned. And through that learning, I was able to put together a really good program that helped them get from where they were at to buying their first home. And through that journey of getting more and more people to that promised land, I became really well known. But I didn't know anything in the beginning. I didn't even know how to spell the word mortgage in the beginning, but I jumped in. Okay. And that's what I'm sharing with you today, is that you don't need another coach. You actually need clients that are going to teach you. And maybe you can consider doing that for free as well. So the industry problem, I believe, is too many people are becoming professional students. We just want to learn and learn and learn. And, there's a lot of coaches out there who are making good living off of you continuing to be this professional student and just learning. But there's a lot of people who need your help that aren't getting your help because you're a professional student. So I want you to think about that for a second. And I mean this sincerely, because there are a lot of people hurting right now. They don't understand credit. They don't understand money management. Maybe they need to get a second job, that the mindset shifts, things that you actually know right now that you could be sharing and helping someone, but you have decided not to have a voice because you didn't feel ready that you could help someone. And I say this often. Some of you have heard this quote before that I heard. I think it was Russell Brunson that said it. If you're 15 pages ahead in the book, you're the expert. There are so many people who need you because you have the information they need. Right now, you have the information they need. Not tomorrow, right now. Right now. And so I implore you to stop being this professional student and jump in and actually really learn your trade. Learn your trade. Learn if it's a passion for you, if it's a dream for you to do something, this is what you want to do to help the world because you've seen it help so many people. I don't know another industry personally, and I've been in a few, that I really feel like I changed people's lives. That's why I love Daniel Rosen's things. Credit Hero, we change lives, right? I change people's lives because I open up opportunities for them that they could not have otherwise. Credit opens up opportunities for people that they could not have otherwise. But here you are sitting there being a professional student. Here you are scared you're going to mess up. Here you are scared that you're inexperienced when people need you right now, right where you're at. And you will learn and you will get better and you will get better and you'll find out what your clients need from you and you will learn how to do that and you'll get better and you'll get better because you'll implement and you'll refine and you'll get feedback and you'll grow. And that's how any business grows. Every business I've owned, I've come from an idea, hey, this is what it's going to be. And it ends up being something entirely different than what I envisioned. Because once I put it out in the world tells me what I need to know. My clients tell me what needs to happen and how it needs to happen. And that's with every business. It doesn't matter what it is. But if you sit in your head and you have to get all the systems and the programs right now, you may have failed yourself because it might not be what your clients need from you. And you wasted all this time. So I've seen people spend $5,000. I've seen people spend $10,000, even $20,000. I spent $35,000 to be coached by Alex Hormozi's team. So I'm not one to say don't spend the money. I'm saying that if all of it is information for you, stop spending the money. Stop spending the money. If you don't have a client, stop spending the money. The information is not even valuable if you don't have a client. Because those people who are doing that and they're spending all this money, thousands of dollars on this coaching, and they still don't have systems. They still don't have clients. They still don't have a process. They still don't have confidence, which is the biggest thing. They don't have referral partnerships. They haven't started building momentum. They haven't probably even started building at all or launched at all, right? But they're willing to spend thousands of dollars. People are afraid of launching. They're afraid of marketing themselves. They're afraid to talk to clients. They're afraid to make mistakes. They're afraid of looking like they're too inexperienced. And I get that. I understand that. I know that. I've been there. But I jumped anyway. Because the one thing I do know, and I'm positive on this, and I hope you guys get this if you don't get any other message that I say today, you know enough right now that you're far ahead the majority of people on understanding credit, understanding how to build credit, understanding how to help them get to a goal, especially if you were there. Angelo, I talked to Angelo the other day, beautiful guy. And he was saying, Allie, you said a message the other day that said something, basically I was saying, hey, if you're trying to help people buy their first home, best you have bought your first home so you know how to help them, right? But the experiences we have in our life where we came from and we got to the other place, that transformation, that's the gold. That's the gold because we already did it for ourselves. And the real beautiful part about it is then we can take that information and we can say, okay, I had a goal to buy my first house and I did this with my credit, did this with my finances, whatever it is. And I bought my first home, right? And then we take that journey and we clean it up. How do we make it simpler, right? That's what your job is, right? Your job is to take that journey that you learned and make it simpler, faster, easier for the next person, right? And again, I've always said this, whatever you say you're going to deliver to people, best you deliver that so you keep your job. So if I say I'm a first-time home buyer specialist, best I get my clients to buy their first home so I can keep my job. And that is a responsibility that we have. So if you're feeling like I'm not ready for that, I don't know that I can do that, that's okay. That's where honesty comes in. Hey, I'm going to help you buy your first home because I did it. And I'm going to try to make this program and this journey as easy and fast as possible. But I might make mistakes because you're different than me. But I have some solutions that I think might work for you. Right? I did that. I did credit repair for the first 2 years. And I told people, I don't know what I'm doing, but you don't either. That was my message. I would say, hey, I'm going to help you with your credit, but I want you to know I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to learn through you. But you also don't know. So how about we just learn together? Do they love that? The honesty, right? The honesty, people love that. I don't know, but you don't know either, right? You're denied. We know that much. You got denied. Let's figure out how to not be denied, right? How powerful is that? You could just say that out loud. And people are going to resonate and they're going to be like, okay, all right, let's figure it out, Allie, right? And so maybe that's the way we start. But that's the industry problem, I really believe, is that we just want to consume information. And, so information is not equal to implementation. I'm going to pick on Israel Cordova. One thing that he said, and I really resonate with, is that you'll learn more from having a client than you ever will from any other way, right? So if you're trying to learn how to do the perfect dispute, how about get the client to do this, figure out what the perfect dispute is, which there's not really one. Sorry, there's not. But your implementation, when you take action and you have these clients, that's going to be your best way of learning. Trust me on this. Just jump and do it. Get that client. You will learn from that experience. And I'm going to share with you at the end of this video how I can make this even more exciting for you, where you can feel like you're jumping, but you're jumping with a mat at the bottom of it. It's a bouncy mat. You're not going to fall because I'm going to help you. Okay, I'm going to share with you how I'm going to help you, okay? For free, by the way. I'm going to show you how I'm going to help you. You don't need another coach. I'm going to do it for free for you. I'm going to teach you what I'm talking about here at the end of this video or this live. Okay, so state this again. Most of you do not need another course. You need clients. You need support. You need systems. You need confidence. You need community. You need repetition. Mostly you need implementation, okay? That's what you need. And I'm going to show you how I can offer that to each and every one of you. It's what I offer to all the people that were on my strategy call yesterday. It's what I offer to everybody who's on my strategy calls. You need clients. I'm going to help you get clients. You need support. I'm going to give you support. You need systems. I'm going to give you the system. You need confidence. I'm going to give you the confidence. You need community. I'm going to give you the community. You need repetition. Can't give you that, but I can give you the clients that can create that repetition for you. And then you need implementation, and I'm going to help you jump with a nice, soft cloud under you. So you're not going to fall. You're not going to hurt yourself. Okay. I promise you that. Okay. But I need you to jump. I need you to take that implementation, because if you don't do that, then we shouldn't even be talking right now. There's no reason to be talking right now. Matter of fact, if we don't have a client, we shouldn't be taking any information in, because why do we need the information if we don't even have a client? That doesn't seem to make sense, right? And that's why when you go to like Credit Repair Cloud, when they get people into their ecosystem, they say stuff like, be the first client, help your family and friends. Why do they say that? Because that's an easy intro to you helping people so you can grow the confidence. But you're jumping out there right away and you're saying, I don't know all the answers, but we're going to figure it out together. And that's okay, because they don't know the answers and they're searching for the answers and they're hoping somebody will help them, and you can be that person that can help them. All right. Okay. So here's the big shift that I want to present to you. So I want you to see the information. Again, I will say I have a master's degree in coaching. Absolutely. I believe coaching is important. I hire coaches. Bob Proctor was my coach for a year. Benjamin Hardy was my coach for a long time. Obviously, Alex Hormozzi's team has been my coach, and I have a number of coaches beyond that, but those are the big names that I can tell you that you might recognize, which they all cost a lot of money. But I was okay with that because I was able to learn from them something they already learned so I can implement that into my life. And that's the key word, implement. I never went to coaching and just absorbed information, because information is useless unless we implement it, right? So the old model is that we're buying courses, we're watching videos, and then we're alone. And how many of you have taken a course or did a live presentation and you're all hyped up about it? You're like, oh, this is the sauce. And then you go to try to do the thing, and then a question after question after question comes up in your mind, and you're like, I don't even know. I have no idea. I don't know how to put this together. I know you've been there, because I've been there, and we're human. We're both human here. We're all human here, right? So I can tell you there's been many times I get really excited about this new fabulous thing. And then I go to try to put that together myself, thinking after I watch this video and everything's going to fall in line. It's going to be so easy. And then when you start to do it, it's like, stuck again, question. And then the only way you can get the answer to those questions a lot of times is you have to go hire a coach, right? And so this cycle keeps building, right? And so here's my new model that I want to present to you. And then I'm going to offer you some more information about at the end of this live. New model: learn, implement, ask questions, get support, and grow together. How about that? Grow together. Not another coaching program. Learn, implement, ask questions, get support, grow together. That's the new model that I want to present to you that we built with LevelUp Score. All right, so LevelUp Score itself is more than a software. It's about partnerships. It's about strategy. It's about community. It's about support. It's about implementation and growth, all of these things. This is what we build in LevelUp Score. So yes, LevelUp Score is a software. Yes, we create action plans. Yes, we create strategy. Yes, we give you the tools to automate your business so that you can make more money and spend more time doing the thing that grows your business rather than doing the thing that is the task, right? So yes, LevelUp Score does all that, and it's continuing to grow and get better at it and better at it and better at it with all of the support that we have from our partners. But it's so much more than that. And it always was. It was never meant to be just a software. It was meant to be a mission that we call Success Bosses. It was meant to be something where we have a community of people who support each other and help each other grow, because my true belief is that we need more good people out there, which I call Success Bosses, people who are really helping someone get to a goal, not just doing disputes. Anybody, everybody can do a dispute. And matter of fact, if your business model is I'm going to do disputes and that's all you're doing, I'm sorry, your business is going to be gone very, very soon. Because number one, the credit monitoring or the credit scoring systems are changing. It's not going to work anymore. It's not going to work anymore. So stop doing it. So that's your model. Figure out you're going to have to get a new job. So go start finding one, because it's not going to work anymore. But it also never really worked. People come to us and say, I want to buy a house. And then you would do disputes, knowing that the dispute wasn't going to help them buy the house. At loan officers, we have a saying, no dispute ever bought me a loan, because it's true. It's true. It's rarely that a dispute is needed in order for a person to buy a home. There's usually other things that are needed, right? Edgar Cruz at CreditCon, for those of you who went to CreditCon, he talked about this whole idea of business scores, or banking scores, I should say. And I was like, whoa, I was so excited, because not many people understand that or even know what that actually means. And he talked about that in his presentation. And my eyes lit up, and I was so happy to hear Edgar Cruz say that, because most people don't understand. We look at this credit score and we think this is what we need to work on, and things on this credit report, get the negative things off, and we're going to get someone a home loan, or we're going to do that. And we're not. We're not. Because as banks, we look at something totally different. There's a lot more pieces that we look at, that you're missing if that's your strategy. And so, not to get deep into LevelUp Score, but that's what LevelUp Score does. It actually creates that strategy. It creates those banking scores. It creates the approval for them, not just you're doing disputes. So yes, LevelUp Score does all that, but the mission of LevelUp Score has always been to have success bosses out there who are actually helping people get to their true goal. Not just saying I'm going to do disputes and then not really getting them to their goal. I mean, really getting them to their goal. If I say I'm a first-time home buyer, best I get them to their first home, right? And everything I possibly can do. And so that's a lot of what LevelUp Score's mission is. And so we built this community, this partner, LevelUp Score Success Boss partnerships. And so we have a community, and I offer support. So the really cool thing is you can jump right in. Stop blocking yourself. Jump in, start getting your clients. I can teach you how to get your clients. I can teach you how to put the systems together. I can teach you the automations. All of that I do in LevelUp Score. So when you get on a strategy call with me, which I have one tomorrow, guys, at 5 p.m. Eastern time, you can get on a strategy call. Please get on the strategy call. Stop not getting on the strategy call. If you heard about the strategy call and you haven't been on one, what are you doing? If you don't have clients right now, or you feel stuck and you are not growing clients, why are you not on my strategy call? It's freaking free. It's free. You can be on my strategy call for free. And I'm going to help you figure out how to do those things. I'm going to show you for free. No coaching cost, right? But then on top of that, once you become a partner in LevelUp Score, you have a community. And in that community, let's say you have a problem with the client that you don't understand because you're new, you're inexperienced, whatever, you don't have the confidence in answering the question. You could present that in the group, and guess who will coach you on that? I will. So again, I want you to jump, but I'm going to have you jump where you have a nice cushion under you. You're not going to fall. You're not going to be hurt. I want you to jump though. You got to jump. So here's the first movement for your jump. It's going to be getting on my strategy call. So we're going to have real-time coaching and real-time growth in these strategy calls. And we're going to continue that, because once you become a partner of LevelUp Score, you're going to continue to get that coaching. So building while you learn, that's how we're going to do this together, okay? So the fastest way to grow is to build while you're learning. So here's the bad model. Learn, 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 learn. Maybe I'll start. I cannot tell you how many people on the strategy call, that's exactly what they say to me. I need to learn more. I need to learn more, but I need to learn more, but I need to learn more. Maybe I'll start later after I learn more. Number one, you won't start because you'll never know enough. You'll never know enough to start. You won't. And then the funny thing is once you do start, if you do start, everything that you learn, you're probably not even going to use. That's a funny thing. You know, I like to think of it this way. You know, when I went to get my license to be a loan officer, we had to do all this studying, right? And all this coursework and stuff. And then we take the test. And the test is like this long, crazy test. If anybody's taken it, you know what I'm talking about. It's not the funnest test ever. And then we get our license to do business. And then we get our first client to do a loan for. And everything we learned doesn't apply to this situation. All of that learning, all of that studying for that test, and now I have a real person, and it's a completely different set of learning that I have to learn. And I can promise you that is true with every business. It is not until you have the client that you learn what you need to learn. And it's so interesting how that works. But I have talked to loan officers. I've talked to real estate agents that get the learn, go take the test. And then they take the test. They're like, I don't know what that was all about because that's not my real world. I needed to learn this, and this, right? And so that's what I want you to do is I want you to think of a better model. You're going to learn, implement, adjust, and grow. This feedback and refine. Learn, implement. I want you to jump. So you get on my strategy call tomorrow. We're going to jump tomorrow. We're going to jump tomorrow. So be ready. Get on the strategy call and jump tomorrow. I want jumpers, by the way, on that strategy call tomorrow. 5 p.m. Eastern time. You can get on my strategy call, and I want you to jump if you're going to be on that strategy call. I'm going to give you the key. I'm going to give you the mountain to jump off of, and I'm going to have you jump. And I promise you, I'm going to be there at the bottom to make sure that you don't fall. But I need you to jump, and then we're going to adjust, and we're going to grow because you're going to have a different audience than I have. You should, because you have a different experience than I have. You may not be the first-time homebuyer specialist because maybe that's not your experience. Maybe that's not your passion. So you gotta lock that in, okay? That's a big part of it. And then what can you deliver? What's the goal that you're saying you're gonna help people get to, right? All of that. So we're gonna build while you learn. So stop learning, let's build, and let's learn through our client experiences. All right. The bigger mission here is that I wanna help you guys, not building you into dependent students on me, but building successful partners. I want to have more success bosses out there, more people out there that are helping other people. And I want to help you build that, okay? Not dependent students, That's what a lot of these coaching programs are, is just to get you dependent on them. But I want you to really become a successful partner with LevelUp Score and help more and more people. And that's what I want to deliver to you as part of the LevelUp Score partnership. So talked a lot about it. So if you're ready to start building, if you are going to be a jumper tomorrow, I would like you to scan this QR code to join our next live strategy session tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time. You got to be there. It doesn't work like some people say, can you send me a recording? No, it doesn't work like that. Strategy calls are very different. It's not like a recording. It's we're a big group of people and we talk about where we're at, what we're doing, and then we dive into how to make that work, how to grow the business. And then I'm going to invite you at the end of the strategy call about being a LevelUp Score partner. So what does it mean to be a LevelUp Score partner? Basically, you're just getting in and becoming a LevelUp Score user of the software. And in that, you become a partner. And in the partner, that's where I help you grow and grow your business. I mean, let me give you some examples of what happens in the partner community. We had one person, I won't say her name on here, but she messaged me and she said, Allie, you know that signature line you have in your email and it's like animated and it spins? Like, that's really cool. Can you teach us how to make that? And so we did. Right? So even little things like that, right? Allie, you have a survey that you do with your clients, the 1-question survey. Can you teach us how to do that? Right? Can you show us how to talk to loan officers? Can you show us how you do your consultations? Hey, I have a problem with this client, this particular debt on this credit report. What is your advice on how we should handle this, right? All of that stuff happens in the partner group. So now what happens is you have a client and you don't know what to do because you don't know enough yet. That's okay. You come into the partner group and you say, here's my client situation. What's your advice? And then I will come up on a video and I will talk about that so that everybody in the group who may or may not have that question will get that information. Okay. So it's real-time coaching right inside that group. No cost to be a LevelUp Score partner except to be on LevelUp Score's platform. So if you haven't checked out LevelUp Score's platform, a couple things that I want you to do right now today. Number one, scan this QR code. I want you to join the next strategy session, which is on Wednesday. That's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Be there, but figure out a way. Be there. I promise you it'll be the best hour of your time. And then once you've done that, make sure you're following the LevelUp Score Facebook page. So it's LevelUp Score. LevelUp is one word, Score app. Make sure you're following us so you can continue to get information because I do share a lot of information. But then I want you to also look for the LevelUp Score partner page and go ahead and ask to be invited in that group. Now, we will not let you in the group. Well, don't get me wrong. I will not give free coaching to you if you're not a LevelUp Score partner. That is mandatory for you to get that coaching. But I want you to ask to be invited because I know after the strategy call, you will be a LevelUp Score partner. Some of you already want to be and you just haven't jumped. Jump. Go to levelupscore.com and hit sign up, get your free demo account set up, and then join me on this next live strategy session and let's jump. Let's jump together. How many of you guys are paying for software that you're not using because you don't even have a client? Stop it. Maybe keep the software. I'm not saying get rid of the software, but jump. Let's get the clients. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. So that'll be a big conversation tomorrow on the strategy call is how do we get those clients in the first place? How do we jump? And I promise you, I got your back. You're not going to fall. I'm going to help you all the way down that jump and throughout time. So join me tomorrow, Wednesday, at 5 p.m. Eastern time for that live strategy call. I'm excited to see you guys there. I really, really, truly want you guys to be success bosses. I want to give you the keys to make this easy, but I also want to make sure that when you have a client, you're actually helping them get to a goal. So how do you figure out what the goal is that you're going to help them with? Is it something you've already done yourself? That's the best way to look at it. If it's not, but it's something that's a true passion, hey, if I could help people buy their first home, I know it'll unlock so many credit opportunities for them or so many opportunities in life for them. If that's the message. I talked to someone on a strategy call yesterday. Awesome. He helps people get into rentals, but people get denied for rentals. And what he really wants to see them do is be able to buy a house. But we talked about how we have to open up their mind that that's even a possibility because right now renting's not even a possibility. And so we came up with a tagline. We had so much fun yesterday creating his hero image and his avatars and everything. It was so much fun. And that's what we do on the strategy calls. And that's what I do with you on coaching you in your business as a LevelUp Score partner. So be there. I'll see you all. I appreciate you. I love you. Stop paying for coaching and let's start earning money. Let's start getting clients. Join me on that strategy call tomorrow. I'm really excited to be there with you guys. Talk to you soon.